Hashtag the secret Roman weapon that terrified entire armies. When the Roman Empire stood at its absolute peak, it controlled roughly 2 million square miles across 3 continents. But here's what most people don't know: their dominance wasn't just built on superior tactics or better soldiers. It was built on a weapon so psychologically devastating that entire armies would literally abandon the battlefield the moment they saw it deployed. And almost nobody talks about it today. This is the story of Greek fire. Except that's not the real secret. The Romans had something far more terrifying, and for centuries, military historians completely missed it. Let me take you back to the year 113 AD. The Roman army is marching into Mesopotamia under Emperor Trajan. They're facing an enemy with superior numbers, better knowledge of the terrain, and absolutely no intention of surrender. By every rational calculation, this should have been a disaster. Instead, it became a rout. The Parthian forces didn't just lose. They broke. They panicked. Soldiers threw down their weapons and fled in complete terror. Officers couldn't rally them. Commanders lost control of their own men. And it all came down to one weapon that changed the psychology of warfare forever. It was called the ballista. Now, you might think you know what a ballista is. You've probably seen it in some movie or video game. A big wooden frame with an arm that flings rocks. Simple enough, right? Wrong. Dead wrong. Here's what makes the Roman ballista absolutely different from anything that came before it. It wasn't just powerful. It was precise. It was repeatable. And it was industrial. The Parthians had siege weapons. So did the Egyptians. The Greeks had catapults. But none of them had figured out how to make something that could fire multiple bolts in quick succession with devastating accuracy. The Romans engineered the ballista to do exactly that. We're talking about a machine that could fire a bolt the size of a human leg at speeds that would put a modern rifle to shame. That bolt would travel through the air and slam into armor, not dent it, not chip it, punch straight through it. And then keep going. A single bolt could pierce through multiple soldiers standing behind each other. But that's still not the terrifying part. The real horror was the sound. When a ballista released, it created this absolutely bone-chilling crack. The sound of the arm whipping forward could be heard across an entire battlefield. And then came the whistle of the bolt cutting through the air. And then the impact. A wet, sickening sound of flesh and bone being obliterated. Then silence. Then another crack. Then another whistle. Then another scream. Soldiers who had never faced a ballista before would see their comrades literally erased from existence. Not wounded. Erased. A perfectly healthy soldier would be standing there 1 second, and the next second he'd have a wooden shaft the thickness of a man's wrist buried in his chest cavity. Or his legs would be separated from his body. Or his head would simply be gone. This is where psychology becomes a weapon more powerful than any metal or engineering. Soldiers can accept honorable death. They can face swords and spears. They can understand cavalry charges. But they cannot comprehend being randomly obliterated by something they can't see coming, can't dodge, and can't fight back against. It breaks something fundamental in the human mind. The Parthians learned this lesson the hard way. Their cavalry tactics, which had dominated the region for centuries, became completely useless. You can't charge at something that kills from 200 yards away. You can't flank it if it shreds your formation before you get close. And you absolutely cannot maintain unit cohesion when your soldiers are watching their friends get torn apart by an invisible force. What makes this weapon even more devastating is that the Romans understood logistics and production. They could manufacture ballistas. They could train crews to operate them efficiently. They could position them strategically on the battlefield. And they could do it over and over again, in every campaign, in every region they conquered. The Parthians tried to adapt. They built their own versions. But they never quite got it right. The engineering knowledge, the precision, the industrial capacity, the Romans had all of it. And their enemies didn't. This wasn't about one lucky invention. This was about systematic military superiority backed by an entire empire's resources. For nearly 300 years, the ballista remained Rome's secret weapon. It wasn't secret because they hid it. It was secret because most people were too focused on the more dramatic aspects of warfare to recognize what was actually winning battles. Generals and emperors spread propaganda about tactical genius. Poets wrote epics about courage and strategy. But the truth was simpler and far more brutal. Rome conquered the world because they could mass-produce machines that killed faster and more efficiently than any human soldier, and they had the discipline to deploy them effectively while their enemies still fought like warriors from an older age. That's not just military innovation. That's the future arriving on an ancient battlefield. If you want more hidden history stories like this, hit subscribe and ring the bell so you never miss one.